Ho, ho, ho!
Welcome to the Haunted Hangover podcast. I'm Louie, and as always, I'm joined by my bud Dave.
Bing bong.
I knew you were going to do that.
I have to.
So, Dave.
Yo.
It's the
What's up, bud?
It's the holiday season.
Yep, I like it. Do you?
Of course. Did you put up your tree yet? Or have you not started decorating yet?
No, we haven't done anything yet. No.
God damn. You guys are waiting, huh? It's already December.
No, we were supposed to do it today, and then my mom had a procedure done, and she fell asleep. So we didn't do it the time we were supposed to, but we're actually going to do a lot of it tomorrow, and then the following upcoming week. So.
Okay. That's good.
What about you?
Yeah, my tree is up. I have a little tiny tree, so it takes us like 20 minutes to put it up. It's not exactly it's not exactly a very difficult thing. You could probably see it behind me right there. You see it right there?
Well, we gotta decorate a whole ass house.
Yeah, and we just put some stuff on the door. We've got our little wreath. And then we've got our little tree, and that's it.
Well, I'll say
I don't have a house to decorate, just an apartment.
Well,
so.
Well, I was gonna say Sheila and I decorated her apartment last weekend, so that counts for something.
There you go. That does count. That technically you're always there, so it's like your second home.
It's my second home.
There you go. But since it is that time of the year. You know, Halloween's behind us, and you know, no one's really, and trust me, I can tell, no one's really talking about spooky shit right now. We thought we'd change things up. We're going to be covering something that people are either going to enjoy or be like, why the fuck are you talking about that? You're a Halloween podcast, not a Christmas podcast. And that are Christmas, that is Christmas commercials, is what I should
let's
say.
just be clear here. I think at this point now, people know that during Thanksgiving and during November and during December, we pretty much don't cover Halloween stuff. And you know what? I think it's fair. I mean, it's this time of the year. People are in the spirit, so we're gonna acclimate to what's going on. You know, 10 months out of the year, you're gonna get Halloween shit from us. But for 2 months, we're gonna keep it festive.
Yeah, and it's funny too because we've done shows in the past talking about Halloween commercials, and a lot of nostalgia for the most part is associated with the stuff we pick.
Sure.
But I also think we pick shit just because of how odd it is, and we're just amused by the absurdity of some of these commercials.
Sure.
Do you agree? I sometimes think like we don't. Like, we've picked commercials and talked about it on the show simply because they're fucking weird. And that's it.
I got one. Listen, later on, we got one that's a real head scratcher. But besides that, I you know what? I have something I want to say about commercials. And commercials in general, especially the age that we are and us growing up with TV and the time that we did. Commercials and, like, circulars and catalogs was how we found out about things. Like, there was no social media, there was nothing. Like, if we wanted toys and wanted to find out about fucking some cool ass Ghostbuster toy or some fucking G.I. Joe shit, we had to see it on a commercial. You know what I mean? Nowadays, the commercials are like, there's some pretty cool commercials out there now, but it's not like it was. So commercials are a staple in holiday seasons, and especially during our time. So I think, while like we go over commercials, I think it's important to keep that in mind. Is that it was it had a much bigger impact.
No, I totally agree.
than it does now.
Well, yeah, I think they market shit to children and people a lot differently now, and we've talked about it on the show before. Like, fast food obviously is still very popular and they still market it, but they market it a little differently, I guess, like towards children. So growing up, when we've talked about it, again, we've talked about it on previous episodes, but I just think it's a different time. But I will agree, it was it felt way more important back then.
Absolutely.
Than it does now. People also don't really watch TV that often.
That's
Most people
true.
don't even
I
have
don't.
like cable.
I don't watch cable.
Yeah. Most people don't even have cable. It's like streaming.
Yeah.
So the only time you're really seeing commercials is like on YouTube if you watch YouTube. So that's basically it. And honestly, when you watch YouTube, a lot of those ads are like what you would see, like car commercials and shit like that, like on YouTube. So
yeah.
It is a different time. It is strange when you think about it. It's funny, even today, and this is the tangent corner right now. Yeah, the tangent corner. I was on YouTube earlier and I was just watching like music videos. I just had them on in the background. And I'm like, wow, music videos used to be a thing that only aired on MTV or on like The Box and shit like that.
Much
and
music.
Now, yeah, no one like airs not commercials, music videos, I mean, on TV. It's like only YouTube and Vimeo, I guess, and shit like that.
And stuff like that. Yeah.
Yeah. So like, there's no channel dedicated to music videos. So again, tangent, but I was just thinking about that today. I was like, wow.
That's okay.
Anytime I want to watch a music video, I just go on YouTube to watch it. There's no like channel.
Together.
Yeah, there's no channel just playing like music videos the way MTV used to back in the day. But before we go on any longer with my tangent on music videos and shit like that, let's jump into some of these Christmas commercials. And Dave,
let's do it.
Hit me with your first pick.
As long as you love me so, let it snow, let it snow, let it snow.
Nothing melts away the cold like a delicious hot bowl of Campbell's soup.
Let it snow, let it snow.
So my first commercial that I chose for this wonderful holiday season is the Campbell's chicken noodle soup commercial from 1998. And if we have listeners that are around our age, you're going to know this commercial. And I remember this commercial very vividly. I was 14 or 15 when this aired. And every time I see this snowman come inside the house, take its scarf off and whatever the hell, its hat off, and then it sits down and it melts away into a little kid that just wants some fucking hot-ass soup. I'm telling you. The reveal of a hungry-ass kid made me want soup. It was instant, like, yo, I need that soup. I mean, this commercial is a real pillar of Christmas commercials, if you ask me. We have this claymation snowman, and we have this shitty CGI snow melting off the kid. Let's get that soup boiling. I know you know this commercial.
100. Well, we've watched each other's picks, so we already know what the other one's about to talk about. Oh, dude, this is probably, out of all the picks we have between the two of us, this is hands down the most iconic. I feel like they still, even though obviously we just finished talking about how they don't really
I'm sure it airs sometimes.
I have a feeling I feel like it still airs, or it still aired a few years ago and maybe stopped recently. But it's kind of like that Hershey's Kiss commercial with the jingle bells. You've seen that one, right? Like,
go on a little.
It's like jingle bells. It's jingle bells with the Hershey Kisses.
Yeah.
What else happens? So no, that commercial has been around just as long, I feel, as this.
I know,
commercial
but what happens in the commercial?
Oh, all it is like the Hershey Kisses are lined up.
Yes, okay, that's all I needed to hear. Yes, I know.
Yeah,
exactly
in like a white room, and they're all like little bells.
You know what's
that commercial
interesting about
still
this?
airs.
You know what's interesting about this is that example you just used, and the one that I'm talking about, although they were made in the late '90s, mid '90s, whatever, they're timeless. Because you could throw this commercial on still, and it's just like, yo, it's soup. So everybody still eats fucking soup. So and the fact that and the fact like that the house itself is like all steamy, and it's like also got huge vaporwave aesthetic in that commercial. it's just like it makes you want soup. So hey, if it's something is working and the marketing is working, even fucking 20 something years later, why change it? Just keep using it.
Yeah. And the concept itself is pretty it's genius.
Yeah, it is.
To have I want to know what that kid was doing outside. Like with all these commercials for the most part, I'm just curious what happened before the commercial, before the character and what they were doing before that. I want to know how this little boy was outside for so long and turned into a fucking snowman.
Yo, you know what this is? This is the precursor to the Jack Frost movie. The horror movie Jack Frost. This
Not
is
the Michael Keaton Jack Frost.
No. This is what happened before it killed Shannon Elizabeth.
Damn. She got it pretty rough in that movie.
She did.
I won't go into great detail or graphic detail, I should say,
okay.
But if you've seen the horror Jack Frost,
it's very fun.
You know exactly what we're talking about.
All right, before we veer off into many more tangents here, Louis, give us your first pick.
Ew, old people.
Slackers!
Get a clue.
Get a job!
Get a haircut.
Get some hair.
Have some respect.
Have some prunes.
Why you? I don't want to take this and just give it to one.
With new games like Ken Griffey Jr.'s Major League Baseball, Tetris Plus, and Donkey Kong Land 3, the world is a better place.
Nice earrings. Nice hearing aid.
What?
So, my first pick, and my first two picks are from the 90s. So, during this time, I was like a preteen, 12, 13, 11, 12, around that age. So, I feel like this commercial specifically was targeted towards me and you, I think. Because at this point, we were close in age, and you probably know which one I'm about to get into, but I feel like this one, we were the people they were trying to target this specific commercial to. So I'm calling this commercial Christmas Game Boy Pocket Old versus Young People commercial.
Oh, yeah.
So in a nutshell, this commercial features two groups of people in a mall confronting each other. You've got 4 young teenagers and 4 old people. These people in their 80s and 90s, not 60 or 70, 90s, late 80s, 90s. And they kind of rush at each other, West Side Story style,
it's
two
like a
gangs.
standoff.
Yeah, it's a standoff, exactly. And they're throwing all these nasty ass insults to each other. For example, when the teenagers see the old people, the first line is, "Ooh, old people."
Yeah.
Like they're a fucking plague of some kind.
Because they're not going to be old when they get older.
Yeah, we're all gonna get there eventually. But yeah, so they're just throwing jabs at each other. They're just saying stuff like "get a haircut," get some hair, get a job, shit like that. Stupid, immature bullshit. It's fucking cheesy as hell.
Very silly.
Very, 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 very much of the time. Even the way these teenagers look. And for some reason, and again, I picked this commercial because of how ridiculous it is. For some reason, one of the older men pull out a Game Boy Pocket out of nowhere and starts threatening threatening the teens with
him.
it. It almost sounds like he's about to say, "I'm gonna stick this up your ass" or "shove this up your." I don't know if you got that or not.
Yeah, absolutely. Yes.
So he's basically like, "Oh, I'm gonna whatever with this Game Boy Pocket," and as soon as the teenagers see the Game Boy Pocket, it squashes the beef. They're like, "Oh shit, you've got a Game Boy Pocket, dude." They're like, I love Game Boy Pocket. You love the Game Boy Pocket. And after that, we get a bunch of cuts to the video games that Nintendo's offering at the time. You got Ken Griffey Jr.'s Baseball. You've got some Donkey Kong, a bunch of other shit. And the commercial ends with the teens and the old people embracing each other, holding Game Boys and shit. And in the end, one of the old guys looks at one of the young teenage boys and says, "Nice earring." And the boy says, "Nice hearing aid." And the old man goes, "What did you say?" Basically, he couldn't hear him because of his fucking hearing aid.
It's pretty juvenile, but it's pretty effective.
Very effective. And the reason why I like this commercial so much, besides it being so fucking ridiculous, is first things first, I love that the two groups are meeting in this area where there's like a sick Christmas display behind them. Mm-hmm. It almost looks like where Santa Claus would sit. Now, the video that we watched was kind of grainy and very pixelated because it's old. Yeah. So you couldn't like really quite make out what was in the background. I wasn't sure if there was like a Santa Claus. It looked like a Santa Claus mall sitting area, but it just looks great. I love the trope of old and young people not getting along. It's and then like the happiness at the end that they kind of have with each other. I got a kick out of that. Now I want to have a brief discussion here about the Game Boy Pocket. Did you have one?
No, I just had the regular Game Boy, and I think that was it as far as handhelds go. I didn't have the Sega one. I didn't have anything else but Game Boy. I know I played the shit out of it, though, when I did have it. Yeah. I do have a Game Boy Color and either a Game Boy Advance or Color now, which I got secondhand, obviously, but, it's pretty fucking cool. I love the culture of modded Game Boys. So... Yeah. I follow a couple pages. I always wanted to buy a modded one, but it's not necessary. I mean, I have a Switch. So, I don't know why I would need it, but still. How about you?
I definitely had a Game Boy Pocket. It was fucking awesome. I remember having a Power Rangers game on it. I had one of the Kirby games on it. I had Mario, of course. I feel like if you got a Game Boy Pocket, you had to have, or a Game Boy in general,
no, you had to have a Nintendo product. You had a
Mario game,
right?
And I just thought the concept of having a Game Boy, because if you remember correctly, the original Game Boy was a fucking VHS tape. That shit was huge. It was a fucking brick. And when they created the tiny Game Boy Pocket, it was like amazing. Like you were like, wow. Look at how small this thing is. You can literally put it in your pocket like they're advertising. Yeah. Now, what I find funny about technology and just the world we're living in, and we'll jump off this tangent. I love how at one point having an electronic, whether it's a gaming system or a cell phone, having a small version of it was the hip, cool thing. And now in 2021, everything is fucking huge again. Isn't that weird? Remember like the Razr, like a Nokia phone? Like you look at like the iPhone or even like Galaxy phones or whatever, Androids is I think what I should say. Yeah. You think of the Android, people want them larger because they're watching movies and shit like that. And even like the Switch. The Switch is fucking huge comparing it to the Game Boy Pocket. Yeah. Like, look at just in size. There's no way you're sticking your Switch in your fucking pocket. There's no way. No. It's fucking huge. Yeah. The thing comes with a bag you could stick it in, just to carry it around. But yeah, I just find that so interesting that how we've almost gone like backwards. Everything was created to be smaller, and then now it's like everything needs to be big because we're watching and playing shit and resolution.
People need to be entertained 24/7. Yes.
So weird, man. How again, just something being mini was like cool and fucking dope, and now everything's got to be huge. TVs, phones, fucking game systems, like all that shit. So I just thought this commercial brought me back to how something so small was cool. Like it was convenient. It helped make carrying your Game Boy easier because of how small it was. And in 95, I don't think I had a cell phone. Did you?
No.
And cell phones were fucking humongous, remember? And then they started getting smaller, and then they started getting bigger again. Very odd. I'm done with my tangent of how large electronics have gotten. Dave, what is your next pick?
Season 3's in our souls.
Yummy fruity pebbles in our bowls. Oh, here comes you know who. Yabba dabba fruit, delicious stew. Oh, I'm hungry. Santa, my pebbles. Your pebbles? 'Tis the season to be sharing, Fred. Happy holidays, pal.
Oh, Fred.
Fruity and Cocoa Pebbles cereals, part of this nutritious breakfast.
So this one is another one I feel most people around our age group would know. And that is the Flintstones Fruity and Cocoa Pebbles cereal commercial from 1986. So very briefly, we have, what was the dinosaur's name again? Was it Dino?
Dino.
Yeah, so we have Dino and some other kids like caroling outside. Fred's getting a bowl of cereal ready for Santa. And then as you see Barney up on the roof getting ready to impersonate Santa. And then Santa comes down and he says, ho, 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 and he's eating his cereal. And then Barney comes down and he's caught. And very simple commercial. And, you know, this aired. So this is primarily why I chose this commercial. This aired when I was 3. But it has to have been in rotation for years because this is another staple of my Christmas memories as a kid. Literally, when I watched this, like during, like doing, you know, like taking my information down, I knew the dialogue to the commercial.
Yeah.
Like I love cereal, and when you have a fun cartoon like the Flintstones promoting cereal, I fuck with both Fruity and Cocoa. Not very good when soggy though. Cinnamon Toast Crunch is the only cereal that gets a pass for me when it's soggy. Plus a caroling dinosaur, Barney impersonating Santa. Pour me a damn bowl of that because I haven't had it in a while too. I should get it.
Yeah. Which one did you prefer, Fruity Pebbles or Cocoa? Is it Cocoa
honestly,
Pebbles, right?
Probably Cocoa Pebbles.
There's just some. So for me, I think I lean more towards Fruity because there's something so. No, they're both good. I agree. I can eat them both. I could eat the shit out of both of them. But there's something so distinct about Fruity Pebbles. Like Fruity Pebbles taste like Fruity Pebbles. There isn't anything else that taste like it, to me at least.
Yeah,
like,
it's interesting. It's got an interesting taste.
Yeah.
By the way, I don't mean to cut you off, but I just have to say this before I forget about it. When we had Grimy on the show, is he the one that said to put Fruity Pebbles in eggnog and try it or something? Because that sounds fucking amazing, and I would love to do that. Go ahead.
I think he said, instead of using milk, use eggnog, and that it's the most delicious.
It's probably so good.
Listen, man, it's that time of the year. We might have to do it and fucking give it a try. Actually do it this time and get back and get next episode, talk about it. You know what? I might fucking do it. So the next episode later this month,
eggnog.
Our next holiday episode, maybe we should both try it and then come back.
I'm sure. I have no doubt it's amazing.
But to go back into the commercial, I remember seeing this commercial on TV all the fucking time. Like it was definitely a staple. And if you were 3, dude, there's a chance this was probably running for like 10 years. Has
to be because I knew the words.
Christmas. Yeah, because I remember this vividly airing during like Saturday morning cartoons. So it must have had a very long run. I would say this is probably the second most iconic commercial when comparing it to the Campbell Soup Snowman commercial you picked earlier. This is on the list. This is probably the second. I think most people listening to us know this commercial.
Right. And I chose these for a reason, like I said, because they made, like, these are 2 commercials that have been with me my entire life. So...
And also, I think that was a thing with Fruity Pebbles, if I remember correctly. It was kind of similar to the Trix Bunny, where Barney never was able to get his hands on Fruity Pebbles or Cocoa Pebbles. I think.
Well, I think at the end of the video, at the end of the commercial, I'm pretty sure Fred gives him a bowl.
Yeah, he does. He hands over. He's like, "Oh, hey pal, here you go," because he was pretending to be Santa Claus.
But yeah, he's always trying to get it, and he never gets it. Yes, you are correct.
So maybe this is like if we fact check, maybe this is the only time Barney got his hands on some of those Fruity and Cocoa Pebbles. So it's a historic moment in the history of the Flintstones and the cereals. I'm pretty sure this is probably the only time he got it. Speaking of which, one more tangent. I wonder if the Trix Bunny ever got his hands on Trix
These are
cereal.
some things we're gonna have to look up now.
I just thought about that. I was like, damn, did the Trix Bunny ever get his hands on some cereal? Because that was his thing too. He can never because Trix were for kids. They weren't for white bunnies for some fucking reason.
Yeah.
Those kids were fucking mean to him, dude. Horrible.
Yep. What's your second pick, bud?
Hey, look what one of those kids gave me. I see you eat the cream first.
Yeah, ever since I was a little kid, I'd eat the cream and leave the rest for Santa.
I know. I miss the cream.
So, my second pick, and I think this is a conversation starter, and there's a reason why I picked this episode.
I like this
because
one.
I do too. And the reason why I picked it is because when we were recording our segment for the 2021 Haunted Hangover Halloween special, I don't know if you made fun of me or you were talking some shit while we were recording, and I'll get you probably. It was me, you, and Tom. So you said something, and I was like, you know what? I'm gonna pick this commercial because it references that, and we'll talk about that in a second. So yeah, this commercial I'm calling the Oreo Cookies Christmas Cream commercial.
Okay.
Emphasis on the cream. so
I've never seen this.
You've never seen this, okay. So
Nope.
We've got a mall Santa who's super excited that one of the kids gave him a pack of Oreos. He's discussing this with another Santa who's like behind him getting ready. So you get the sense that they're changing shifts. So like he's done and the next Santa's gonna step in and see the kids, which is a smart idea.
Yeah.
I never thought of that.
It is a good idea.
Multiple mall Santas? Maybe. So, the two of them are there. They're having a conversation. The man, the first Santa, he opens up the Oreo packet and he starts to eat the cream. And keep in mind, he's kind of describing and talking while he's doing this. And he's licking the cream, and he says that when he was a kid, he'd always eat the cream and leave the rest for Santa. The other Santa is about to walk out again and greet the children. He looks back at the man, puts his hand on his hand on the man's shoulder, and he says, verbatim, "I know, I miss the cream." The man looks mad confused, and we see a shot of like this pack of Oreos with the words "Unlock the magic" underneath it. Now, Dave, going back to what I said before, and I'm gonna talk about this commercial a little bit more in a sec. So when we were recording our segment, we were taste testing the apple cider donut Oreos. And, it was a taste test. So I opened my Oreo cookie and licked and tasted the cream, basically. It's funny, I'm doing it, I'm miming it as we speak right now. I wish I had a fucking Oreo man. So yeah, so I like bite off the cream, and you look at me and you're like, "You're just not gonna eat the whole thing? You're gonna just try the cream?" And I'm like, "No, motherfucker, I'm gonna eat the whole cookie afterwards." I wanted to see what the cream tasted like by itself. Now, Dave, I have a question for you. When you were a kid, or even still, were you the type of person, because I believe there are different types of people, were you the type of person to eat the cream alone and then the cookie?
This is a Seinfeld episode.
It definitely is. Or did you just eat the whole fucking cookie? How did you eat them?
I don't know. I think I might have done it. I've definitely done that. But I mean, as far as a kid goes, I think I have used to do that when I was a kid.
Yeah.
But now, no. I want the whole cookie. And honestly, regular Oreos don't cut it. You have to get double stuffed. If you're not getting double stuffed Oreos, then you're doing it wrong, because single stuff, single cream, whatever, just the normal regular Oreos, it's just not enough. You need more. So, listen, when Santa said, "Oh, I know, I missed the cream," like, imagine being Santa Claus and coming down the fucking chimney, and some little shit kid leaves you cookies and he ate the cream out of the fucking Oreo. Move. You're like, get the fuck out of here. You're not getting shit.
Yo, that kid is a dick. Why would you do that to Santa Claus? My man just wanted the cream. Cream, get the money. That's all he wanted.
For years. All right, listen, years, when I was a kid, I used to leave Oreos for Santa Claus.
Yes.
And I would leave a glass of milk. We literally did this. Left a glass of milk. And how did that start, by the way? Is there any information to that? Do we have to look this up? How leaving cookies and milk was like folklore for Santa Claus?
Well, funny enough, he might be the subject of our next episode. So we should take a note. We should take a note of that.
Okay.
And answer this question in the next episode.
All right.
We will answer that question in the next episode, because I don't think we've kind of discussed the origin of Santa at all on the podcast.
No.
So
we have not. So I used to do that, and when I used to, my uncles used to live here, so one of them was obviously just eating the fucking cookies, because the myth of Santa was ruined for me at a very early age. So I found out my uncles were just eating like one or two cookies, which is, I would eat them too. You know what I'm saying? If I was my uncles, like, all right, fuck it. But I definitely didn't pull a move where I would eat the Oreo cream and then leave the fucking wafers for Santa Claus.
Dude, first things first, that's gross. If Santa was real and he fucking showed up, like if someone gave me Oreos and licked the cream and were like, here you go, I'd be like, what? That's fucking nasty. Especially with fucking COVID, that's fucking real gross now when you think about it. But
yeah,
it was just like fucking, what a douchebag. To fucking like, haha, Santa, I'm gonna eat all the fucking cream and leave you these dry ass cookies with milk. Who knows? He probably didn't even leave Santa any milk either, that dickhead.
Probably not.
But this commercial, again, it just reminded me of us, like when we shot our segment in the Halloween special, when you made fun of me about eating the cream, because I still do that. I still will open an Oreo and eat the cream by itself. I don't know. I've been doing that my whole life.
All right.
And I just love how sad Santa looks that he misses that cream. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's just I'm amused by him constantly saying that. He goes, I miss the cream. Like he just misses the fucking cream. Poor Santa.
Well, I'll say this. I'll say this. The Halloween Oreos, this is what I do. I'll take one Halloween Oreo and I'll twist off one top, and then I'll take another Halloween Oreo and I merge them together, so it's like a quadruple stuffed Oreo. I do that all the time. Have you ever done that?
I don't think I've ever.
You should.
No, I don't think I've ever done that. The only thing I could think that kind of can mimic that. Remember when they had those overstuffed Oreos? Do they, the ones that are like massive and you only get like three of them in the pack?
I've seen them. Yeah, I've seen them in the store.
I'm assuming when you would like do that, it's like the same amount of cream, right? Like if you were to like stack them, because it's almost like the amount of cream in that overstuffed, not like the overstuffed, the mega stuffed. You know what I'm talking about, right?
That's what it's called. It's called mega stuff.
The amount of cream in that Oreo is gotta be like 3 Oreo cookies.
Probably.
But yeah, I'm a fan of the cream more so than the cookie. I'm not gonna front. Fun fact about Louis.
Algunos son buenos solo en Navidad, otros son buenos todo el año. Directv es mejor.
Being that my third and final choice of commercial was a little bit of an oddball, Louis, you go with your third pick, and then we'll end with mine.
Sounds good. So, my third and final pick. Now, the reason why, this is a pretty popular commercial, and it's funny because when I sent it to you, I was like, have you ever seen this commercial?
I've never seen it. Nope.
I remember it being all over social media when it came out, because obviously being horror fans, that's one of, that's one of the first things people would share, especially during the holidays. Anything that associated with horror and the holidays, anytime those two things are merged or combined, it's kind of shared everywhere. You kind of see it. And I feel like this commercial you see every holiday season. And that is the Directv horror character Christmas commercial. Now, I believe this commercial's from Spain, because at the end of it, they're speaking Spanish, and I know a little bit of Spanish, but a very small amount of Spanish. I think I only understood like the last line that the guy says, like the voiceover says in the commercial. Regardless, the commercial is made up of your favorite horror characters in like a cheerful holiday mood, doing different fun holiday activities. And I have a list here of everything you see in this commercial. Also, before I go into breaking down what you see in this commercial, dude, this commercial feels like a fucking fever dream. I don't know why, the way it's shot, and just like the shit like you're seeing, it seems very dreamlike, and I think that's kind of what they were going for.
Do you know what it reminded me of? In Happy Gilmore, when he's having like a fantasy of the girl, yes, and she's like bringing him beer and stuff like that. That's what it reminded me of. It reminded me of that, but with the subject matter of this commercial.
Yeah. So, and I agree. That's kind of a good that's a good reference, because I could totally see that. Yeah. But in the commercial, this is what you see. I think there might be one or two things I left out, but for the most part, this is the shit you see in the commercial. So you've got Darth Vader walking through like a winter wonderland. He's just hopping through the woods with snow falling everywhere. You've got Freddy Krueger picking flowers. Jason cutting down a Christmas tree aggressively with a chainsaw. Dracula petting a rabbit while sitting inside of a coffin. You've got Hannibal Lecter preparing a turkey and handing it over to some woman. You've got Samara from The Ring handing a gift to someone, to like a little girl, through a TV. The most iconic shot, and I even think there's a GIF of this I've seen on Twitter and shit. You've got Dracula, Freddy, Jason, and Darth Vader skipping through like a field. It's a fucking amazing visual.
Yeah.
And you've even got Chucky on a seesaw.
That's my favorite
with another kid. That's my favorite one. And it's funny too, because to me, the Chucky in this commercial is scarier looking than the real thing. There's something a little off about the design. Maybe so they don't get sued.
I was just gonna say that they had to probably tweak it a little bit to make it look like it wasn't exactly Chucky, which is why I love it. That's the reason why I love it, is because it's like a bizarro Chucky.
And they're all with the parody law. I'm assuming that's why Directv was able to do this and not get sued, because technically, like when you look at the characters, like Jason's mask is a little bigger and odd looking, and something's off about all of them, but you get the idea. Like Darth Vader's honestly probably the most accurate looking character. Yeah. It's funny that's Darth Vader too, because you've got all these like horror characters and then a sci-fi random Darth Vader appearance, which I thought was odd. But what did you think of this commercial? Because you had never seen it before.
Also, there's a Wolfman at the end on the roof.
Yes. Can't forget the Wolfman. Can't forget about it.
Honestly, I just thought it was silly. I was like, I've never seen this commercial. It was just something I was like, okay. It was fun. It was a fun commercial to watch, especially, I guess, I mean, it's like, it's Christmas themed because it doesn't even look Christmassy, though, which is also interesting.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was a fun commercial. I've never seen it. And you were like, oh, you've probably seen this before. And I watched it and I'm like, nope, never seen it.
Yeah, it's pretty popular. I remember, like, I feel like people share it every Christmas or holiday season.
First time I've ever seen it.
And I forgot to mention that Silent Night, I believe it's Silent Night, is playing throughout the entire commercial. And it's kind of eerie. Like, it's a little eerie.
See that?
Listen, man, Christmas music can be eerie and kind of depressing sometimes, but like hearing that song and then seeing these characters in a like happy, festive mood, it's fucking just odd. It's just weird. Like, it's just, again, very dreamlike and strange.
Yeah,
like, I get it. It's supposed to be a very like happy-go-lucky commercial, but man, is it strange. And I'm surprised they didn't try doing more of these, or like an extended version of this commercial, like just having the characters doing like other shit, like, you know, like celebrating
updating
other
it yearly.
Yeah. Like, you know, or like and the fact that this has never aired in America is strange too, that it's from another country. So I just get a kick out of it. I thought it was a cool commercial. I thought it was very fitting that we talk about it because we're a Halloween podcast. So it's like, this is like the perfect...
There you go. We covered it.
This is the perfect Halloween Christmas commercial in a sense, because of just the combination of these slasher characters and Christmas.
Absolutely.
You know? So I was like, I had to mention it on the podcast. I was like, I had to talk about it because I think it's a great, fun commercial.
Wie hätte ich euch denn sonst alle zusammenbringen sollen?
Papa.
All right, Dave, hit us with your final pick and the final commercial we're going to be talking about.
Here we go. Okay.
Man.
So speaking of other regions of the world, what we have here is I think it's pronounced Adika Supermarket, and this soup company is from Germany. This commercial aired in 2015. So we have a super sad montage of an old man celebrating Christmas by himself while his too busy and spoiled ass kids just send Christmas cards and make no attempt to see their poor father. We see a few Christmases pass and still no visit from the family. The old man decides to fake his own death and lure his kids and their families to his place for Christmas. Fucking finally, a bold and harsh tactic turns into the greatest family Christmas reunion in Germany. This is also a commercial for a supermarket. Look. I was just like watching this and I'm like, okay, like I see like they're gonna go the sad route, and then fucking dude fakes his own death. They all go to his fucking wake and they're like, where's the body? And then they go to the house and he's there and they're like, oh, Papa, or whatever she says, and then they're just having the greatest celebration there ever was.
Oh my god, dude! I had never seen this commercial. When you sent it to me, I was like, what the fuck? What the fuck am I about to watch? It's shot beautifully. Like, it's very cinematic. They did a great job with the way they shot. Like, it looks like a movie, the way they
Germans,
shot.
man.
Yeah, dude. I was like impressed. I was like, wow, this is very well produced. And then I was like, no. When I was watching, I was like, no, they're not. No. At first, I was like, all right. Like, I was like, this is depressing. He died.
It's very morbid.
I was like, he died, and like, I thought it was gonna go the direction of like he passed away, and the family are gonna regret
fucking loved ones. That's the message.
They were gonna be like, wow, like this is what we get for not going to see Dad on Christmas.
For not being there.
For not being there. But then my man comes out from the back room with a full dinner. I'm like, wait a second,
like, gotcha,
dude. That is the most fucked up prank. I guess.
I mean,
it's borderline.
I mean, listen,
a prank.
if you got spoiled fucking kids that won't make an attempt to go see their father, and he wants to see him, he's got to go to harsh lengths to get him to come by, and it worked. But I mean, like, do I recommend doing this? No, but
I'm like, wait a second, is he now? I want to know like how far he thought this through, because like you see like the the daughter gets a card that says he passed away. Then the one son is in the hospital. I'm like, dude, did he like reach out to people to like help orchestrate this shit?
It's
like,
very, very well organized fake death.
All that so the dude can sit down with his family and eat a fucking ham. It's fucking morbid. Dude.
Super weird.
Oh, dude. It's the plot of like, it's like the plot of a Tales from the Crypt episode, honestly.
Yeah,
it's like, I'm like, wait, he's alive? Wait, no, what? Fucking crazy. Just crazy. Yep. And it's like, even after you see that he's alive and it was all just a big ruse to get like the family, his family, it's more so that like they're so caught up in their jobs, they don't have time to see their father. And like time is of the essence type deal. But still, like to go to these lengths to like, I'm like, what the fuck? And then when you're watching it, even after you see that the grandfather's alive, you're like, there's still something there, man. I don't know. I don't know how I feel about this. There's still a fucked up kind of situation. Still a little dark edge there at the end. I don't know. It was an interesting pick. I had never seen anyone talk about this fucking commercial either.
Neither have I.
So I did get a kick out of it.
I'll say this. For a supermarket to come up with this commercial idea is very strange. But you know what? It has a very genuine point. And it's reach out, make an effort to see your loved ones. I mean, I get it. It's a very, very bold move, but I get it. Mm-hmm. You know, that's why I think if you like have friends that you haven't spoken to in a while, or like an aunt or uncle or something, just reach out to them, especially during the holiday season, especially the fucking 2 years of a pandemic now.
Yeah,
like just fucking reach out. You know,
that's there's one thing you take away from this episode of the Haunted Hangover podcast. Reach out to your loved ones. Reach out to them. If you haven't talked to them in a while, give them a buzz this holiday season and wish them a Merry Christmas, a Happy Hanukkah, whatever you celebrate.
Actually, and hold on a second. Now, this is not... Louis doesn't know I'm going to ask him this right now. So, we got our commercials out of the way.
Yes.
I have a quick question for you.
Hit me.
Briefly, what plans do you have for this Christmas season?
So... I'm trying to think. So it's going to be the same thing I do every year. Basically, Christmas Eve, usually my mother, she makes dinner and we all go over to her place. And we open gifts at midnight. That's like a thing we do. I think we've talked about it on the show before.
We have. You're Puerto Rican, and I know Puerto Ricans and Italians are very similar in their Christmas Eve. Yes. is the Christmas. Christmas Day is not so much Christmas, even though it actually is. Christmas Eve is the bigger of the holiday. Yes, same.
But that's what I'm doing Christmas Eve, is going to my mom's place, dinner, presents, gifts, a couple of drinks, eggnog, all that good stuff. Then Christmas Day, usually hang out with my fiance's family, hang out with the kids on her side of the family, and because, they're little ones, so Santa comes Christmas Eve, so they don't open their gifts till Christmas Day.
Make sure those kids don't eat the Oreo cream.
Oh, yeah. I'm going to tell them, hey, guys, don't eat the cream and then leave Santa some dry-ass cookies. Fuck around and find out. You're going to get that coal under the tree. But, yeah, Christmas Day, usually go there, hang out with the fiance's family. And
sounds great.
Hang out with them. What are you doing? It
sounds lovely.
Year? What are you doing for Christmas?
So actually, Sheila and I are going to go see Krampus and Black Christmas, the original Black Christmas, on 35 millimeter this Friday, and it's at the Colonial Theater, which is where they host the Blob Fest every year.
Oh, okay.
And it's gonna be awesome. We're having a sleepover afterwards with a bunch of our friends from Easton, Pennsylvania, and we're making cookies. We're making a whole bunch of cookies. Last year, I made these really banging shortbread cookies, but we're doing them vegan this year.
Nice.
So I'm very excited about that. And Christmas Eve, we're having it at my house. Sheila and her mother are coming by. They're coming by. We're having a couple, probably going to be like 15 people, to be honest with you. Which is a good amount of people.
Yeah.
And Christmas Day, we will be going to my aunt and uncle's house. And that's it.
Yeah. It's always fun to kind of that's what I like about Christmas. You have 2 days of activities and doing fun Halloween,
sure.
Christmas stuff. Look, Halloween always on the brain.
We fit Halloween in there somewhere. Sure.
Yo, listen, you're doing some spooky. You're watching some spooky horror Christmas movies. So there you go. But yeah, Halloween's always on the brain, man. Even during the holiday season, can't forget the jack-o'-lantern, man.
Can't forget.
He was dressed in a Santa Claus suit.
Boo! So those are some of our favorite Christmas commercials. Be sure to subscribe, follow us on Instagram and Twitter @Haunted Hangover, and be sure to check out our Patreon page, patreon.com/Haunted Hangover 31.
And if you can rate and review us, that would be greatly appreciated.
And remember, the best cure for a hangover is
more booze
and cream.
I'm happy you added that in there.
Later, guys.
Bye.
Ho, ho, ho!